never seen me before, it's because although I'm almost here every Sunday, I'm almost always downstairs in the classroom. I like to call this story the accidental church school teacher, or how I learned to stop worrying and love the church school. This is the story of my faith journey since we came to this church. My husband and I both came from Catholic families. I went through various stages of thinking about God and my relationship to God and all creation. I realized that many aspects of the church my parents had been born into didn't seem right to me. A lot of the doctrine made no sense with my understanding of God. And while I had never had a negative experience of church, it became clear to me that being a Catholic, even in name only, was not in my future. So when Doug asked me to marry him, we looked for a church. Neither of us lived in Winchester yet, but we knew we'd be coming back to town, where he grew up, when we were ready to raise a family. It turned out his dad had grown up congregational, as had two of my college roommates, and they liked him. Plus, it was a pretty church. So we met with Julie, and she married us, and that was the beginning of our family. And almost exactly a year later, our daughter Zoe was born, and within a few months we moved to town. We came to church a few times, as we figured we should if we wanted to have her baptized. We met Skip for the first time, and everyone was very welcoming and kind. After Zoe was baptized, we began to really feel like this was our church. And we saw lots of families with kids, young and old. I was particularly impressed with a group of older kids I saw sitting together in the pews at the right front side of the church on Sunday mornings, and with the teens I met working in the nursery. I thought, these look like kids who are here because they want to be, because it means something to them. I became vaguely aware of the youth programs and the church school, and I realized, this is what I want for my kids. I want someplace where we can help them build a moral framework and a foundation for their own faith as they grow. I want a place for them to come and spend time with other kids from families with similar values, so that when they get older and things are confusing or hurtful or scary, they'll have an environment to take refuge in, where people accept them and support them. I want them to have a soft place to land when the world seems hard. And I do believe this is that place. This is what I think is the funny part of the story. I remember clearly sitting in church one Sunday, toddler in the nursery, baby Riley in my arms. A Christian Ed Commission got up that morning to make an appeal for people to volunteer as church school teachers. I thought, it's wonderful and amazing that there are people who do that, but I would never do that myself. So we'd be coming to church for a while, and I got a call from Judy asking if we'd like to join as members. I asked what that meant exactly, and we talked about membership being a little more of a commitment, maybe becoming more involved and active in church. And after thinking about it and talking to Beth, I called Judy back and I said, no, I don't want to take on more of a commitment than we're ready to follow through on right now. I feel like we're just exhausted. It's left in 2 years. And I think it's in our future, but I don't think this is the right time. And about 6 months later, when we were asked again to join the church, Doug said, it's time. So the following fall, Zoe turned 3 and moved from the nursery to the church school. And Carol Jones, who ran the church school then, was the teacher for the 3-year-olds. She informed us that all the parents needed to sign up on the schedule as helper. Okay, I could do that. And I did it a number of times. In fact, I did it with another parent helper or by myself, as Carol moved herself out of the classroom and on to other things. The next fall, I was asked if I could be parent helper for the 4-year-olds with Jennifer Regis, a seasoned pro. I could do that. Although after the fall term, when Jennifer was done, I started taking the reins more, sometimes with help and sometimes without. In the spring term, attendance dropped off from Macon Park Hill, and I decided to combine our 4- and 5-year-old classes. At this point, I've come to think of it as my class. So I had the benefit of working with another master teacher, well. So how hard could it be? Of course, a few months later, I learned that Carol was retiring. Having never served on a commission, I had agreed to co-chair and have now been chair of Youth Christian Aid for the past 2 years. As chair, it was suggested that I should really attend the monthly Council on Ministries meeting. After a slow ramp-up period, I realized how important that was. That's where you learn what's going on with the rest of the church, and you get to know all of the other people who feel the need to step up and get things done. And that's where I learned what it's really like to belong to a congregational church. And that's when I understood that we are the church, all of us, and we have discussions and make decisions together about what is important, and where our resources will go, and what direction we will take. One of the things I loved about our church from the beginning was the many small opportunities it provided me to give back with hardly any effort at all. Making cookies for the cookie walk, pie for the bean supper, getting a gift for the giving tree or young mothers on Mother's Day. And as I've grown, I've learned that the biggest pillar of my faith is gratitude. And I feel tremendous responsibility to always be mindful of what I now realize is just ridiculous good fortune in almost all the circumstances of my life. I have a wonderful family and great friendships. I have a home with plenty of tea. And I believe that with that good fortune comes specific obligation, and the best way for me to express my gratitude is by giving back to others. We all have that ability, and I like to think we all have that desire. There's no one-size-fits-all, but we can all give in some way, shape, or form. As a Christian, I believe this: God loved the world into being. Jesus is the living embodiment of that love. First he loved, then he gave. I can honestly say that against my expectations, I have reached a place where I get at least as much as I give to the children of the church school. People have asked me over the past few years, but don't you miss the chance to be in the sanctuary? When does your spirit get fed? My spirit, in this place and time, is abundantly fed by the opportunity to share my love of God with the children in the classroom. It's become my favorite form of worship, this simple act of weekly service. In the spirit of gratitude, I'd like to end with a word of thanks to all the people I've been blessed to serve alongside on the Christian Aid Commission. Every last person who's given of themselves to teach, because without teachers, there is no church school. And the many people, parents and others, who've shared their insight and support for the work we do. I am most keenly grateful to my team for the past year, Dave and Jody and Natalie. I've learned so much from each of you and am inspired by your creativity and commitment. We've been a very small group for the past year. I want to let everyone know it's not an exclusive club. We would ecstatically welcome anyone who wants to contribute in any way. We have some great plans and we need new members to help realize them. If you feel it's too much, you can come to a single meeting or more and learn about the work we do and tell us what you think. You can even just share your thoughts in an email. I am forever thankful for Judy and her bright spirit. Kendra, I am grateful for the chance to get to know you this past year and for your gentle presence here at church. We wish you all the very best as you pursue your wonderful music, your teaching career, and whatever else God has in store for you. And Christina, so many of us are grateful for the tender loving care you've given our children in the nursery, and I'm thankful for your friendship. Finally, if any one of you is sitting in service today thinking, it's great that she does all that, but I couldn't possibly